Alright, so today I'm gonna be answering the question of, is WGU legit? Basically, like, is it worth it? Was it worth it in my experience? What my experiences were like getting a job with a bachelor's degree from WGU, and just kind of that whole subject. I am gonna kind of split this video up between, like, actual, like, facts and stuff, and then, like, more my personal experience, my opinions and stuff. A little background on me: I have a bachelor's degree in business administration management from Western Governors University. I got that in 83 days. So just starting off, is WGU legit? And just kind of basically, like, yes, like, if looking at it at face value, yes. It's accredited by the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. And basically, like, every college that's legit is, like, accredited by some regional accreditation institution. And this institution is recognized by, like, the U.S. Department of Education and everything. And it's the same organization that accredited all of these colleges. So, yeah, so basically, like, face value, it's legit. There's been, I think, like, over 200,000 graduates, and then as of 2020, there were, like, over 100,000 active students. So basically, it's not some, like, back alley scam just right off the bat. Like, there's substance to it. And then in terms of it being accepted by graduate programs at other universities, I looked into it. Basically, I looked at, like, top, like, business schools, like, graduate schools, and every single one says, like, that they require a bachelor's degree from an accredited university, which WGU is. So you could apply to any of these top schools with a WGU degree. Doesn't mean you'll get in, but you can apply. Some say stuff like, it's like a minimum of, like, a 3-year degree, but, like, I got a 4-year degree. It was just, I got it in 3 months, so I don't know exactly how it would work in that scenario with the schools that require that. So that's a bit tough. Alright, so I really want to make it clear that I'm dividing this video up into 2 parts. From this point forward, it's going to be based on my personal experience and my personal opinions. So it's going to be, very anecdotal, subjective, based on hypotheticals, so just take it with a grain of salt. Take it for what it is, which is my personal experience, and it won't necessarily reflect your experience. But, I think WGU, I'm very happy with my experience with it. And I think it is, like, kind of legit, but, like, I don't really feel like college in general, for a lot of people, is as legit as it's, like, made out to be, just overall. Of course, there are exceptions, or, obviously, like, I wouldn't want, like, a doctor doing surgery on me who, like, I just studied using YouTube videos, or, like, something like that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, for a lot of people, you're not really doing anything in college. It's just, like, I've visited colleges. People are just, like, playing video games and partying, and, they're not, like, working full time. Of course, it matters. It depends on the school and stuff. But for a lot of people, college isn't necessarily what it's made out to be. And I think really the most important thing you get from college is the piece of paper. And it's, like, it's more about if the people you need, if the gatekeepers in your life, in your career, are going to recognize it. And this is hard to say with just, like, here's a number. There's no clear number. I mean, there are people who I tell about my experience with WGU, and they're, like, impressed by it, and they think it's really cool. And there are people who I tell about it, and, like, you can tell they don't really think it's legit and whatever. And I don't know what percent, like, how much of that is because I'm 18 and I have a bachelor's degree. Maybe if someone was 40 and had a bachelor's degree from WGU, people would look at that differently and think it was more legit than my situation. So it's hard to tell with that, but I know, like, like one thing, like my brother went to a well-respected university for business, and just like we would talk about my classes when I like finished going through a class in like 2 days or whatever. He would ask me, he would like quiz me on different things, and he would just kind of ask me what I learned. And generally his feeling was that like I learned the things that he learned at his like well-respected university. Like I learned all the different things that he learned. In terms of like getting a job, I applied and I interviewed for a position that required a bachelor's degree, and I was able to apply and everything, and I had no issues. However, I didn't get the job, and I found out that part of the reason was that the person who would have been my boss was looking for someone who had done a more traditional college. And so I in one experience I didn't end up getting a job because they my potential employer didn't see WGU as like legit enough. However, I also now will be starting a job that is like a job I'm excited for, that I think a lot of like say 22-year-olds who just got out of college with a bachelor's degree would likely be quite happy with. And it's also tough because I don't know how much of that was, it's not a very corporate place that I'll be working, and I got it largely through connections, and I don't know how much of it was due to like WGU. I think actually a very small part of it was I didn't even send them my degree. Like I just mentioned I had one. So it definitely depends. I would say if you're looking to go into a very corporate environment and you're trying to impress the type of people who are looking for like name brand colleges and all that, like WGU very well might not be the best choice for you. And then something else I think is very important to consider is the fact that you have to look at the fact that WGU can be done so much faster, and therefore it's like take 4-year college that's 48 months. I mean, you could say maybe it's like 47 because like you graduate high school in like June and then you graduate college in like May usually. Let's just say 48 to make the math easier. I did college in 3 months. That's 16 times faster than a traditional route, and I think like one of the more traditional prestigious schools are more I think the degrees from there are more valuable. However, I don't think that they're anywhere near 16 times more valuable. I think they're like certain percent more valuable. Certainly not, I wouldn't think double as valuable. This is all very tough to measure and stuff, but like, if I could trade my WGU degree, just straight up just trade it for like a very prestigious school, I would do it in a second. But if I were to have to go to that school for 4 years and I got into many well-respected schools for business that I chose not to go to because I didn't think it was worth it, and I think WGU is more worth it, especially for the time you put in and for the money you put in, at least for me. So I guess to conclude, is WGU legit? From a objective standpoint, yes. In my subjective experience, was it worth it? Yes, it was, absolutely was. Will it be worth it for you? Will the people that you need a degree for, will they find it legit? That's tough to tell. And yeah, it really depends on your situation. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Peace.